Good afternoon, Trojans. We've got ourselves another cool math problem to solve here, and I'm going to read it. It says, what number is 25% of 80? There are a couple of different ways that we could solve this. One way that we can solve it is by writing an equation. A second way that we could solve it is by writing a proportion. So I'd like you to pick the method that you'd like to solve it. Write that on your paper. So pause your video now and write it down, and then when you're ready, turn your video back on and I'll walk you through the step. I'm going to write my equation first. So I've got what number, I would turn that into n, is becomes the equal sign. 25%, I can't use it in that form. To use it, to turn this number into a form I can use in an equation or a math problem, I have to move my decimal 2 places to the left. So I'd have 0.25 of, if you don't know this, that turns into the times sign, and 80 we just write like this. Okay, now I have an equation where I could solve using inverse operations. The other way I said we could solve this is to write a proportion. So the percent we're dealing with is 25%, and percent means part of 100. So I put my 25 over 100, and that's going to equal another fraction. So I'm going to put my equal sign here. And this 80, I have to decide if that's a part or a whole. Fractions are made up of two pieces, the part and the whole. The part goes on top, the whole goes on the bottom. Well, 80 is the big number, so it is the whole, so I put it on the bottom. And then the number I don't know is right here. Now, I could simplify this fraction to give myself an easier problem. So I'm going to pause the video, and on your paper or on your whiteboard, I want you to simplify that fraction, and then I'll walk you through the last step. Okay, so we're simplifying our fraction. I have 4 quarters in a dollar. So 25 over 100 simplifies to 1/4, and that equals the number over 80. Okay, you can solve this in 2 different ways. You can cross multiply, and then after you cross multiply, you divide. So let me show you what that equation would be. I would have 4n equals 80. To solve it, then I would divide both sides by 4 to get my answer. The other thing I can do is, look here, you got 4 and you got 80. The simple multiplication fact would be 4 times 2 is 8, so if it's times 2 is 8, then I'm multiplying by 20, so 4 times 2 is 80. That means I have to do the same thing on top. 1 times 20 is 20, so n equals 20. Alright, I would have got the same answer over here, dividing by 4. I'm going to leave the n alone because both of those will cancel. 80 divided by 4 is 20. Alright, if you wanted to check, you could plug that into your calculator, and you'd go 0.25 times 80, and when you hit the equal button, you get 20. So this is how you solve a what number is a percent of another number equation. Watch this video as many times as you need to figure out how to do this. Just remember that there's multiple ways to solve a problem like this.